today's Christmassy video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. My dog is here. She is scared of something, so she's shaking. What's the matter? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Today I will be reading out to you some Christmas ghost stories. Now, I found these on a website called scaryforkids.com, so I haven't even read them. I have no idea. Izzy, up or down? Come on. So I don't know. This first one is called The Carol Singers. Here we go. My grandfather was drunk and my father was a drunk, but I never touched a drop. There's a reason for that. When I was young, times were hard. I grew up poor. My grandfather and my father never did an honest day's work in their life. Granddad was good for much, but he played the clarinet like an artist. Oh, he wasn't good for much, but he played the clarinet like an artist. He taught my father how to play the accordion. Every Christmas they would gather a group of their friends and go from door to door playing Christmas music, singing Christmas carols and begging for money. Afterwards, they would go down to the pub and spend it on alcohol. One Christmas Eve, they brought me with them. I was too young to play an instrument, so they handed me a triangle and told me to strike every now and then. The night was dark, the snow was falling, and a cold December wind cut through us like a knife. We kept our heads down and trudged through the snow and the sleet. Eventually, my grandfather stopped and said, "This looks like a good place. This looks like as good a place as any." We were outside a big mansion decorated with Christmas lights. My grandfather knocked on the front door and we began to play some old Christmas carols. The door of the house swung open and in the dim of the light I saw a young woman standing there. She was holding a tray of glasses in her hand with a smile. She picked up a glass and held it out, inviting one of the men to drink. My grandfather rubbed his hands together with glee and took the glass. Just then I looked up and in the window above and saw a face peering out the windows, a face that was hideous beyond words. I looked back at the woman and in the doorway, and her face was hideous too. Before I could stop him, my grandfather put the glass to his lips and knocked it back with one big gulp. "Oh dear," said the woman, an eerie, childish voice. "You've drunk blood, sir." With that, the door slammed shut. My grandfather stumbled backwards, and the glass fell from his hands. It shattered with a deafening crash, and he collapsed into the snow. I don't remember much after that. All I recall was waking up in the light of dawn and finding myself lying in the snow. The other men were lying all around me, just waking up themselves. My father got to his feet and rubbed his head. The woman had disappeared, and the house was boarded up and abandoned. All that was left was a dark red stain in the snow where the glass had broken. My grandfather lay there in the snow beside it, his face purple and swollen. He was dead as a doornail. Could have put that nicer. We hurried home that morning and called the police. They picked up my grandfather's body and brought it to the mortuary. I don't know. My father told them what had happened, but they didn't believe a word of his tale. They said this house had been vacant for over 100 years. After that night, my father was never the same man again. He never let another drop of alcohol touch his lips and made sure I did the same. Alright, let's go Krampus. I've heard of some of this. Krampus gets his name from the old German word for claw. In Austria, Santa Claus is called Saint Nicholas, and his helper is a terrifying demon named Krampus, who travels with him on Christmas Eve. Krampus is a red-faced, goat-horned demon who is covered in shaggy black fur. He has chains hanging from his body, and he rings a large cowbell. He has long, waggling red tongue and a tail that carries a big stick and a large black bag. On Christmas Eve, Austrian children place their shoes on the window on the windowsill or outside their bedroom door while they sleep. Santa Claus and Krampus visit their house. If they've been good, Santa leaves candy and treats in their shoes. If they've been bad, Krampus beats them with a stick. Krampus beats them with a stick. If they've been really bad, Krampus puts them in the sack and carries them off and throws them in a river. Just imagine this. It's Christmas Eve. You've just finished watching the Christmas movie with your family, singing Christmas carols by the fireside. You're settling down to sleep, and suddenly an enormous shaggy monster with horns bursts into your room, dragging chains and ringing bells. He attacks you and beats you over the head with a stick while you scream for your parents to help, and then he shoves you in a bag and kidnaps you as your parents stand by and do nothing. Finally, he throws you into a river and drowns you. All of this because you didn't behave yourself during a year. The legend of Krampus became so popular that his story spread throughout Europe, and it became especially popular in the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, Croatia, and northern Italy. Today, Krampus Day is celebrated on December 5th in country towns. Some men dress up in furs, heavy boots, and a ghoulish mask, topped with horns, and then carrying sticks and ringing bells. They go around town visiting the houses of families with small children. When the parents open the door, the men run in and terrorize the kids. They start growling and whipping the air with their sticks. The children scream and cry. After everyone has had a good fright, the parents invite the men to sit down and have a drink. What the fuck? I'm going to end this video here because that is hectic and I don't want to read anymore. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and watch out for Krampus. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow with another daily Christmas video.